here. Welcome to Live with Love at 11:11 Pacific time. I'm in a different location right now. I am still in Sedona, Arizona, but today I'm a little more casual, right? So happy to have you here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. There might be some sounds of cars in the background, FYI, and you might occasionally hear a frequency of Enya. The signal I have here, I don't know if it allows me to, let me see if it will allow me to play frequency. I'm not sure if we'll have that frequency today, but you do have my frequency, my voice, and some of the topics that are coming up today. Hopefully you can see me okay. It's a beautiful day. I was asking for the sun because there were some clouds that came in, and yeah, I just wanted to, I feel like I've been in a darker space physically. I have been, actually. One of the places I'm staying is like really dark because they have more of a basement level. So yeah, I came out here this morning. I've got this because where I'm at right now, it's a place called Chocolate Tree, and they have fresh spring water that actually comes up out of the ground that they allow locals to come and fill up their drinking water. And since I'm all about the water and the consciousness of the water, I'm very conscious about the type of water that I drink. Spring water is really kind of the best water, the kind that you can get right out of the ground. They have that in Mount Shasta, where you go right to the river and you just duck it in and pull it out, and fresh, clean water. People come from like an hour away to actually fill up their water in Mount Shasta. Many bottles, and a lot of them glass bottles because it's a little healthier. It's just kind of harder to carry that kind of thing. So we're gonna get started. I've had a break the last couple days and it's been good. It's been allowed me to work on different things with my website. And I've started a new class called the Resurrection Code. Not where I'm facilitating it, but I'm taking the class. And it's been a fun time. Hey, what's up, Chris Thompson? Thanks for joining me in Sedona. Oh, look, we got more people. Hey there, how you doing? So yeah, I came, it's a more casual day today. I'm at a place called Chocolate Tree in Sedona. Amazing food, amazing drinks, like everything's amazing, really. Hey guy, random guy from Singapore. Hello, random guy. Random gal, currently in Sedona. Thanks very much for the compliment, I appreciate that. So I'm taking this class called the Resurrection Code, and there's some dark things that came up today. The shadows, right? The shadows that we have within us. And something's been coming up because I help different friends out that have maybe prolonged depression or have had depression for a long time. And so there's this functioning in this dark space that many people are used to, and we're kind of being asked to pay attention to that and to take the necessary steps, but also to kind of change our patterns in life. And how can we get energy flowing again? Sometimes you're in a place where things get a bit stagnant and you're feeling like this muddy puddle, and other times you're feeling like easy breezy and sunshine and raindrops and rainbows, right? Sometimes life is like that too. We have a lot of different contrasts in this world that we live in. Just taking a look here at the chat. Hey guys. What if we have a dark passenger with us? I'm not sure what you mean by passenger. Do you mean alter ego, or a person that's in your life a lot that just kind of brings you down? If there's a person in your life that brings you down a lot, that's kind of a cue to self-care, self-love, and love the person from afar. All right, great to have you guys here. Yeah, I'm in my bathing suit today. It's casual. My hair's fluffy. I don't even know if I have much makeup on. So, glad to have all you guys here. Wow. Okay, great. So, in this class, the shadows are coming up again. We've got Vishnu coming in. That had a little bit to do with like the death light code, right, that I was in earlier. And it's all about facing. It's about facing those fears. How do we get to a place where we feel courageous enough to face the fears? How do we get to a place where we don't feel lonely anymore? We don't necessarily want to be introverted. How do we get to that place? It's not necessarily a very quick process, although I will say that for many of you, with the energies that are occurring now on this planet, it's going to be a lot easier to do this now than it ever was in the past. So if you've ever been in a pattern that you just can't get yourself out of, then I would say start to look at it from a different perspective. Get to higher ground. Take a day where you actually get to wander around, kind of like aimlessly, like you would if you were a kid. Hello, London. Good to see you here. Hello, guys. Good to have you here. Teach us. I don't know that I'm really a teacher. I always tell people I'm not a teacher. I'm not a life coach. What I have is experiences, and those experiences are my own. If you're here, we are reflections of each other, so that might actually resonate with you. If you're here, it's probably because I myself have gone through different variations of depression, like growing up from a child, didn't feel like I belonged, didn't feel like I was wanted by the world, really. I'm feeling more wanted these days, especially with all the compliments, so thank you very much about the compliments. But me feeling wanted, or me feeling of value, of worth, doesn't have so much to do with everybody else on the external. It has to do with me personally. How will I shift out of something to start to feel more of my value, more of my worth? Somewhere along the way, somebody told us that we either had to tone it down or we had to change the way we were. That how we were wasn't good enough, and it's okay. Really, I'm here to tell you it's okay to have these shadows where these things come up and you don't feel this way. I am not peppy every day. I was on a podcast last Friday that I'm helping co-host while I'm here in Sedona, and one of the questions was about my name, Love. So if you're new here, thank you for arriving. My name is Love. It is a pleasure to meet you. And what we do here is we connect with the heart. We connect to the closest aspect we have to not being alone, which is our heart, which is the trueness of who we are. We all have this person that we might be behind closed doors, and we don't want to share it. We don't want to show it because we're afraid of being hurt. Well, it's kind of time to come up out of that. You've been in it long enough. If this is you, you've been in it long enough. And it's time. It's your time. It's your time as you're here with me now. It's your time, your now, to be able just to kind of turn your life around, really. It just takes those little steps. Hey guys. Good to have you here. Hey Brazil. just checking. Do you guys have any questions on what I'm talking about? Or have you noticed some of this in your own lives? Have you noticed this in childhood? Are you an adult that all of a sudden now you find yourself turning back into child mode? Does this happen to you? There are plenty of ways for us to tap into the inner child, to have fun in life. I was not an outgoing person. I am basically proof that those things can change. Like if you were ever shy, if you ever felt like you didn't belong, if you ever felt like you couldn't be you all the time. I've had this thing for the last couple years now where something occurred here and it was traumatic, and I thought it was going to be okay, and I notice now I try and sing and my voice is not as robust, right? My voice is not belting out. I had someone ask me, can you sing? Do you want to sing with your affirmations? And I was like, let's give it a go. Let me try. And what came out was very squeaky. It was like a tiny mouse, These are the things that we struggle with on a day-to-day basis, these challenges. And it's like, are we up to the challenge? Can we tap into that trueness of us? Let me see here. Gonna look in here at the comments a little bit. Hey guys, are you there? You guys all hear and see me? Those of you who are still here. My phone got too hot, so we had a little pause there for a moment. Yeah, swimsuit. I'm totally in my swimsuit right now. This is a very casual day, guys. Flat hair, swimsuit, no pink in the hair. Soon to be coming pink. I'm in Sedona right now. My swimsuit is fabulous. Good to have you guys back with me. So my phone got warm and I had to switch up where I was. So hopefully this is better. You might even be able to see me better. Awesome, thank you very much. So these darker aspects of us, some of us give ourselves a hard time about this, and either that or we think we have to be perfect all the time. We think we gotta always wear this mask for other people and show up in a certain way, otherwise we won't be accepted, or we've learned that, or it's come up in the past, and people have said this comment to me about that they're just learning from the past, right? That's how it was before, so that's how it's always going to be. It's never going to change, right? And it's not the type of mentality or heart space that you really want to be in, because it's hard to change things. It's hard to shift things in life if you're always down on yourself. And there's a lot of people in the external that can be down on us, where they're putting us down, criticizing, saying you're not good enough, saying you need to do better. We can always go in that space where we better ourselves and we improve ourselves in certain ways. But if you're the one always putting yourself down, what chance do you have, right, in this world if you're the one putting yourself down all the time, right? If we have this negative self-talk that occurs. So there's a question here. Did you face hardships in life? I, like everybody else, have had hardships, but I have not had the traumas and the wounds that some people have had. There are people who've had sexual abuse in their life. There are people that have been without food, clothing, the basic necessities that a person needs. I really don't know about any of those things. Addictions. My biggest addiction was Netflix. So everybody has these, like, what they call big T and little t traumas. But what it comes down to is it doesn't matter if it was big T or small t, it's still a trauma, it's still a wound. There are these, when these things occur, we don't always let them occur and then let them be released. And nowadays, there's a lot of modalities. There's breath work, like, which is what me and you and everybody here connects with when we have a certain time in this segment where we actually breathe together, connect to the heart, and get in that space that is more than you just being a human, because you are so much more than humans. If you're someone out there that has struggled with a lot and has had to move through a lot, you're so courageous to have gone through those things, right? To not have it like squished you down, right? Some people feel compressed. That's where that word comes from, depression, like you're depressed. You're pressed down upon. That can be from other people or it can be simply from yourself. Sometimes you were in that big T trauma for so long that you learned how to actually live with it, which is amazing to me. I've had that chance to meet so many people that have lived with this real deep, deep hole in their heart, is what I will say, for so long that they don't feel like there's anything else for them, right? And so this is why I show up live at 11:11 Pacific time daily, so that I can remind all of you, whether it's big T trauma, little T trauma, that there is a way, and that way is the way of the heart. That is the connection that you have to yourself, that you start caring and loving yourself again, or possibly for the first time in your life, getting to that place where you're not willing to basically take crap from others. You're not willing to keep your voice silent anymore. You're not willing to people please anymore. You're not willing to let your health go anymore. You're no longer willing to stay in a place that makes you feel bad, whether it be for the money of a job, whether it be for the love of the partner. If you're here, you're not willing to take that crap anymore. You're not willing to live in that place anymore. That is the inverted matrix, as they say, right? That is the third density way of basically surviving in this world. And you want to go beyond that if you're here. It's like you're ready. I'm here to tell you you're ready. Do you have to be willing? Yeah, there has to be some will, because you have free will to make the choices when the difficult stuff comes up, to decide, how am I going to move forward in life? How am I going to do something different than I've done before? How am I going to choose different? Okay, someone says, we're just assholes fucking around, right? Look, I said fucking. I never do that. But I decided to kind of go around with it. So, yeah, I will say that a lot of us, until we get to a certain point, we're living life unconsciously. We're totally living life unconsciously. There are ways to be very intentional with so much in life. And what does that mean, love? Well, it can be as simple as starting off small. Being very intentional with the tasks, the chores, the errands that you run. Being very intentional. When you're going, say, across a river and there's no bridge and there's rocks, you're being very intentional if you don't want to get stuck in the water, right? If you're not okay with like getting your feet all wet, you're being very intentional about which stones you take across your way. You're looking at stones that are more stable. Are they stable? Are they flatter? What's the distance for you to take the step? Can you just step, or do you have to leap? And sometimes that's what life is about. We have to take this leap to the next step. We have to have like that leap of faith that people talk about, have grace for ourselves, and realize that if we make mistakes along the way, it's okay. It's time to get messy, folks. It's time to get messy and have fun and play and try something different, try something new. If you don't normally go up to people and say hello and give them a compliment, do it. If you're usually the person at the back of the party or the get-together that doesn't talk to anyone, go talk to them. If you're a girl and you think another person is attractive and you usually think, oh, it's up to them to ask me out, go ask them out. If you usually have cream in your coffee, take it black. These are just like little things, little ways that you're like, oh, those things don't mean anything. But I'm here to tell you that they do. Being where I was and then where I am right now took little increments of steps, just small steps on a daily basis of how am I going to do something different? If I am a family person and I have to take kids to school in the day and I feel that I have no time in the day, there's absolutely no time for anything, what choice do I have? What choice? I can decide to get up a half hour early. Why? That might mean that I actually get time to myself. It might actually mean that I get quiet in the house before the whole household wakes up, have time to have my tea or coffee. I might even decide, hey, I don't normally take the dog out at this time, and I'm not really dressed for it, but I'm gonna throw on my coat, take the dog for a walk, and then come back and meet my day in a new way. All of this helps change the course in our light. It helps us redirect energy, because everything's all about energy. So if you feel like you've been stuck in a place and sinking into those shadows and feeling like you don't have a way out, I'm throwing you a lifeline right now. I'm throwing you the raft. Are you going to grab the rope? Are you going to decide to try something new, try something different in your life and not bypass those shadows? Acknowledge the shadows. And if you're having a day where you're like, holy crap, I don't know if it's the solar flares, I don't know if Mercury's retrograde. Everybody talks a lot about that here in Sedona, by the way. That and like what your sun sign is, etc. I'm like, everybody's asking me like it's common knowledge. And I'm like, I have no idea, guys. Do I like that stuff? Totally. But I live my life a little bit differently, right? So just looking at the questions right here and the comments real quick for those of you who catch this later on. Yeah. So enjoying your now, just like you said there in the comments, it's about enjoying your now. How can you make your nows more enjoyable? Because it's not just now. It's now, and 15 minutes from now is another now. And how are you going to show up in your life? Are you making space for the things in your life? Are you making space for yourself? Because if you want more love in your life and you're like, where is it? And you've been searching for it for quite some time. Hello, pleasure to meet you. I am love. I'm here to tell you that you are love as well. And you have this love that is so deep within you, so strong, so courageous, This light that is shining so bright, even when you don't feel like you're being very bright. When you feel like you're in the lowest of the lows, you're still shining bright. And it's a really valid thing to be like, wow, even though I might feel like crap today, apparently I'm still a bright person. Like, I'm still shining that divinity within me. It's still there. It hasn't gone away, guys. So while my phone was cooling down, I drew some cards for you guys. And one of the cards that came up was Easy Breezy Trail. So here's a card to connect with. I'm not sure which trail this is. Maybe there's an actual trail called Easy Breezy. I'll have to find out. But this talks about you have the ability to take a different path. You have the ability, I know it's backwards, but just go with me here. Calibration is right here. You have ways to recalibrate you. What does that mean? It means that you resonate at a certain, I don't know if frequency is the right word. You have a song, you have a rhythm about you. And just like any song that goes a little off tune, you're able to tune yourself up. What do you need to tune yourself up? What kind of self-care do you need? What kind of love do you need to bring to you so that you feel like life isn't a hassle? So you feel like life is fun. So that you feel like adventure is just around the corner. Because it is, my friends. Adventure is just around the corner. Greetings, Kevin Mack. All right. So another card that came up. You know, this actually reminds me of a trail in Colorado that I took. It started off easy breezy, and then it got a bit rocky. And I'm not the type of person that likes to turn around on a trail and go back the other way, you know, unless it's getting dark. But I started hitting snow. I didn't have the right equipment. Some of this might be for some of you. You might feel like you don't have the right tools to move forward. There are going to be tools coming forward for you to take that opportunity. So when it comes up, don't tell yourself, oh, that costs too much. Don't tell yourself you don't have time for it. There are ways to make your trailblazing easy and breezy. And part of that is having the right tool for the right job. I like to build things and build things with other people. And tools are necessary. Tools are very necessary. This one place I stayed at here, they had this glorious big bathtub that had like jets in it. And I often have these times, and here's an example of self-care. I wake up in the middle of the night, could be early morning, still dark, and possibly like nervousness or something happening in my body, right? Or maybe the thoughts are going. And my body is saying, get in water. Or my heart. I would say my heart is saying, get in water. Like, go take a bath. My mind is saying, it's dark, I'm tired, I really just want to go back to bed and see that I fall asleep. But my heart wants to recalibrate something in the body. And by the way of the water, water is actually a natural epidural. So like, even if you're not a lady out there who's gone through that kind of process, water is a natural calming element for your nervous system. When you get in water, there's magic that happens because your water consciousness within your body is also calibrating but communicating with the water in the bathtub as well. There are many energetic type things you can work with when it comes to sacred baths, if that means something to you, where you utilize crystal energy, and you put them in the bath. Just make sure they're the kind that can go in water. You can concentrate, ask about a color that's needed at this time. Like breathe into your heart and ask, if I were to energize this water with a color, what would it be? And then don't question, but go ahead and utilize that color within the bathtub. If your choice is black, know that black encompasses all the colors combined. It's like a different kind of rainbow. And envision it as a multicolored rainbow. Okay, we got Kevin Mack here. Whilst hiking, think it is called a scramble. When encountering obstacles, need to bring both thought and coordination to hike. Yeah. So this is how it's kind of life is, really. We have these obstacles, right? We can decide to continue on that path. We can decide to get off that path and take another path, right? Look at all this lovely, like, sunshine code that's coming in. We can decide, okay, which way? We can ask the soul, which way does it want to go, right? The mind might be saying, hey, if you go that way, this and this might happen. You ask the heart, hey, if we go this way, is it a longer? Yeah, it might be longer, but maybe it's the way you're supposed to go. So we scramble, we hike, we sometimes we're using our hands and our feet to get where we need to go, right? Sometimes we're sliding on our butts, guys. It's just part of life, right? And I heard some people talking about this the other day. Like, I told them different ways they could go up to this cave called Keyhole Cave here in Sedona. And they were like, yeah, you know, I had to slide all the way down on my butt. And I was like, yeah, it's one of those things that you either do the adult thing and you're like, oh, okay, I got to be so careful. Or you can do the adult thing and be like, okay, I got to be careful. But if I were a kid right now, what would I do? Like, would I have fun? And as I slid down, instead of having anxiety, maybe I slide down and I go, whee, right? All the way down, right? Wee, all the way down home to landing on my feet, right? How do you have fun? How do you make something fun even when there's a little uncertainty happen? That word came up yesterday. The uncertainty that shows up in our lives, and like, how do we move forward from that uncertainty? A lot of it is bringing play in. A lot of it is bringing in the fun. How can you make something fun, like washing dishes? How can you make something fun, like cleaning up after your dog? I have this amazing, funny video someone sent me, and I'm going to put it in this description. So catch this on the replay, because I will have that link in there, and it's dogs talking to each other about poop, basically. And its role in humans. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in the description. So when you guys see that, definitely leave me emojis to let me know that you got there. Okay, let me check out. All right, so the other card that came up, if you have any questions, let me know, guys. I try and answer them. I try and see them. The other one that came up was honor your divinity, radiating peace and compassion. And here we have a place called Buddha Beach, which is here in Sedona. It's quite magical. It doesn't quite have all the fairy colors that this has, but just take a moment and breathe into this. In the background is an area called Cathedral Rock. You are the light, you are the divinity. You radiate these at all times. No matter how you're feeling, you radiate this always. Your soul, unlike the human aspect of you, cannot radiate anything other then divinity, then grace, then love. Now your personality might get stuck in there and start criticizing someone or putting someone down, or yeah, you get the idea, right? So we have the ability to lay aside the identity, the personality, and be who we're here to be. Be that kind person. Be that compassionate person. Compassion is something that very little people apply in life. I'm constantly been asking myself, how can I have more compassion? Having more compassion has allowed me to love people that I would otherwise possibly be like, get away from me. Like I said, there's some people that is necessary that you love from afar, or that you simply say, hey, I can't continue a relationship with you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't do that, but not really sorry because I'm taking care of myself. And then you move on. I had a friend recently say that, like, a friend of hers invited herself to like a dinner and then invited other people and then asked if she could go. And this person was like, no, you can't. You're not invited. I'm sorry. But you seem to only come in contact with me when you need something from me. So no, you're not invited, right? So it's just a thing to pay attention to in life. How can you bring more self-care? And when I talk about compassion, I'm talking about compassion, bringing that to you. Sometimes you need to have compassion for yourself. And how do you have compassion for yourself? Well, if there's a person in front of you gabbing away, even if it's me and you're like, okay, I can't listen to this anymore, change the channel. You have that choice, right? You can totally change the channel and go watch something else on social media, right? Same thing if a person's in front of you, and you know how we have these people that like to talk and talk and talk. Guess what? They have a contract with you, and their contract is to keep talking and talking until you say, hey, I've been listening to what you say, but I now have some other things to do and I have to be on my way. That's you self-caring. That's you having compassion for yourself and having compassion for the energy that you yourself hold. Because after talking to someone for a really long time, or being talked at for a very long time, that's why we feel like they're energy vampires. There aren't actually energy vampires. It's the fact that we're too polite and nice to say, hey, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I can't talk anymore. It's been real. It's been nice. Thank you very much, right? Where am I from? Hello, Pakistan. Or is it Italy? Freeing Pakistan. No, it's Pakistan. I'm not really good with the flags, guys. I was great at history, but it was like when I was studying it in my now moment. I only remember things here and there. Currently, I am in Arizona. Where am I from? I was born in the land of Illinois. The magical land of Illinois, near the Chicago area. I have a lot of family over there. Polish background. Jak się masz? Dziękuję. Jak kocham ciebie. I have a little bit of Polish in me. My mother was from Poland. So, radiate your divinity. Have peace and compassion for yourself. When you radiate these things, these different things that show up in these cards, you radiate it to the world. And you start to see it in your reality, where you start to see people having compassion for you. You start to see examples of people having compassion for each other. Hopefully this happens before, we always see this happen when there are big traumatic events, wars, weather happening in different places, the COVID pause, right? People come together when there seems like there's no hope, or if there's a lot of help needed. There are people that step up because they would want to be helped in that situation. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? It's a definitely a saying. And then we have this card, guys. We have, let's see, vortex. Whirlwinds of divine energy now clear the imbalances. So if you are feeling like there are imbalances in your life and they've been sticking around for a while, this is the vortex flushing it out. We talked about poop earlier. I will put that poop video in the replay because it's so freaking funny and it's got dogs in it. But we're now allowing this vortex, the divinity coming in through the crown, to come in and flush out whatever you've been holding on to. Don't hold on to the bag of poop. You know how people walk their dogs and they got that bag of poop and they're running with the bag of poop and they're, so many, like people go to shake hands and they're holding like the bag of poop sometimes. Flush it, flush your system, flush your life. This is like your confirmation to become anew. We are moving into new energies. You are the new human, and it is time to become anew. I'm just going to check out the comments real quick. Can we expand on talking with the soul? Uncertain what this might be in terms of interval conversations with both self and its potential spirit. Can we expand on talking with the soul? So really what it takes to speak to your soul is, first and foremost, start bringing some love into your life. Love, pleased to meet you. Here I am at 11:11 Pacific time, daily, right? So bring love, self-care into your life. That's kind of the step one. Step two, look yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself. Some of you don't want to do this. You don't want to look at yourself. When you look at yourself, you're looking at your soul. Your eyes are the windows to the soul. When you gaze at me, and soul gazing is a thing, when you gaze into my eyes, you think that you're looking at me. You're actually looking at you. Through my eyes, you see yourself. We are mirror reflections of each other. And there's always a reason why we come into contact with a certain person, why we keep contact with a certain person. There is something about what they have in their life that we recognize. Maybe we had this something. People call it the itness. I like to call it the isness of who you are. That is your soul. You can talk to yourself in the mirror and say, good morning, soul. How are you? If you like to use the terminology I am presence, you can use I am presence. These are all just different terms. Christed consciousness. They're all different terms for the same thing. That is you speaking to your soul. What helps you speak to your soul? Having fun in your life. Advocating for your inner child. Deciding to skip. Deciding to walk the curb. Deciding to splash in some puddles. Deciding to play with your kid like you're a kid. I saw a guy all dressed up in a suit at a birthday party last weekend with a jumpy castle. And he was all dressed up, and like some of the people I were with, it was like, look at this guy all dressed up like GQ throwing a birthday party. But then later some of them were like softening. So I'm like, pay attention to the fact that he's freaking running around this jumpy castle with a Nerf gun. And he's one of the only parents playing. That's usually me. I'm like the one that seeks out the kids and plays with the kids. That's one way, and that's the potential you're talking about. The potential of connecting to spirit, knowing that spirit is you. You are an aspect of the divine. You are particles of God in action here now in this universe, your universe, which you have the ability to have things revolve around you in your universe and reflect different scenarios in your life to be able to what they call manifest, create what you want in life. This is all up to you guys. Nobody can do this for you. And it's not always an easy path. Like people were talking about scrambling, right? Sometimes we scramble. Sometimes we mess around. Sometimes we take things seriously. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes we laugh. If we would laugh more, if we laughed while we cried, there'd be more connection to here, to your heart. Because all of us would be releasing those emotions that get trapped. Some of the way to release those emotions, if you're one of those people, look into somatic dance. There's someone I will put a link to as I'm thinking about it now. Someone I would love to collaborate with because I love to dance, and I offer light language dance, which has different things happening when you gaze upon me dancing. There are different codes that come through in my voice, in the dance, and through the hands, etc. This person is somewhere in the UK, and I love her. She moves super fast. And you don't have to move super fast, but if you just try and move the way she does, it's these like short Instagram type videos, you will feel those emotions releasing. I had like an altercation with someone one day where there was so much stress in my body, and I was doing the breath work that I always show you guys, and yet I needed more. I needed the ability to excuse me, I'm just gonna do this real quick. Don't worry, I'm not undressing, I'm just moving my strap. So, there's this movement that is needed sometimes. It's just like sometimes surgery is needed, right? Sometimes like people can fix things holistically. Sometimes the actual energy of like a skilled surgeon making an incision and correcting something is needed. It's the same way with our emotions. There are different things that are needed. Sometimes it's sleep. Sometimes it's just sitting out in the sun, getting out into nature. That will help a lot. Sometimes it's getting in water. Sometimes it's connecting with a friend, but not to like unleash everything on them, not to dump your emotional dumping necessarily, unless you're kind of upfront about it and be like, hey, I kind of need someone to hear me right now. Is it possible then you can hear me without trying to fix me? Maybe give a few key suggestions, and yeah, I could really use that right now. Or a hug, could really use a hug right now. Very healing. These are just different ways, different tools. Okay, so yeah, so the point is, make a decision on who we might be. Yes, that's what you want to do. Make a decision on who you want to be. You get to choose. There was a time we didn't get to choose. We were told who we were to be. We were programmed. We were influenced by family, religion, teachers, which is all fine. It was part of our life path. Now you get to choose. You get to choose whether you show up here with me at 11:11 Pacific time daily. You get to choose if you want to breathe with me or just simply hear my voice. Earlier, I did a live because I found a children's book, and it had to do with kisses. And I was kind of like, wow, that was me tuning into my inner child. I was going to go order my chai, and I was like, wow, kisses. I'm going to bring kisses to everybody in my community that shows up on my YouTube. I'm going to want to bring kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So catch that recording of a live. It'll be up today if you missed it. And it just talked about kisses, different kinds of kisses. How would animals kiss? Right? if they kissed like us. Just little things like that that you bring forth in your life, or to bring forth like others, like I'm bringing it forth here to you, changes the world. It changes the tone of somebody's day. Just to say hello, just to smile, make eye contact instead of looking away, and say, hey, I hope you have a great day. I feel like Mr. Rogers right now. Do you remember him, guys? There's this older guy, wore a sweater, except I wear a bikini, right? Yeah. Give somebody a smile today. If you can, tell someone you love them. You who are here right now, I love you. What do you want to say back? Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Be mine, right? Goes along with the kissing thing. We just had Valentine's Day. Maybe that's what's coming up. Be in the heart. Be in the love. You're welcome. Love right back at you. So guys, we're about an hour. And I feel like I want to leave you with that. We have the marvelous sounds in the background. Nice. Kisses. Kevin Max says, kisses, a wonderful exchange of kindness, like genuine hugs. Yeah, genuine hugs. You know, here in Sedona, everybody hugs a lot. And I've always hugged a lot. And somehow I'm being a little choosier with my hugs, too. I don't want to hug just for the sake of hugging sometimes. I don't know, there's something around it. I have to figure out what that is. It has to do with where I allow my energy to flow, right? It's okay to say, no, I don't feel like a hug today, which is weird to me, right? I actually do love to hug everybody, a lot of people. So sending out hugs and kisses to all of you. Check out that other live. It's very short. Maybe it was like an 8-minute book that I read to you guys. And enjoy your day. As always, we are one. One voice, one heart, one light. Go out there and be that beacon of light. Light up the world in your own way, whatever that looks like, to bring love to yourself and love to others. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for supporting me, for subscribing, for sharing this video. For like those of you who have bought me like a coffee or a chai, thank you. Thank you for supporting me in that way too. It really helps, and it helps me show up for you guys on a daily basis. So I love you. Have a great day. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I will see you at 11:11 Pacific time. Mwah. Enjoy your day.